I mentioned this earlier. We can't underestimate the impact of the Dream Team in 1992 on the world because here we are, 33 years later, and look at the best players in the game. The players are from outside the top five players, you can make an argument, are not American born. Shea Gilgeous getting the MVP. You got Luka, you got Giannis. I mean, we can go down the list there. But that impact of we laughed at the rest of the world. We're crushing. Barkley's making fun of people. We're focused on us, whereas the world focused on them. And how do we get better as a basketball country? And look at what that impact did with the NBA.
So you're right. That impact was great. I remember just hearing about players like Sabonis or other players and really not knowing until I got to play with great players like Sharunas Marciulionis or Peja Stojakovic or Potapinko and others. I think we did a great job in showing our secrets and showing them, that you can be like Jordan, or at least you could dream like this. And if you don't reach Jordan's ability, you can still be pretty good if you watch him. And so I think that we did a great job in exposing the game, but I also think the way that the system was set up, Luka was professional at 15?
Yeah.
So if he's professional at 15, comes to the NBA with 5 years experience of playing against grown men, he's going to have a better trajectory. And so I think that the systems that we had overseas, allowing guys to play professionally younger, helped them advance a lot quicker. But our last 7 MVPs, Dan, were all foreigners, so to speak, or people from other places. And truthfully, Shai could have won last year. And truthfully, the year Embiid won, Jokic could have won that. So you could have a 4-time. I really look at Jokic as missing the MVP. He should have one more MVP. So I love the way that the game is spread, but it comes back to skill. And hopefully it'll set a fire under a lot of the young kids to, be the best that they could be. But I think the game is going to always elevate no matter who's the best because guys around the world watch the best and we become better after that.
But you also look, and I'm sure you remember this, but when Barkley won MVP, when Karl Malone won MVP, everybody knew that Michael Jordan was the best player in the game, right? Shea Gilgeous is getting the MVP, but I think everybody recognizes Joker is still the best player in the game. It just, and I mean, SGA and OKC had the best year, and he's the best player, but I don't know how players reacted when, Barkley played well for Phoenix, Karl played well for Utah. Michael, I don't think cared about the regular season as much as he's going to win a championship.
Well, I also think there's fatigue. There's Jokic fatigue.
Yeah.
How, you really think about it, you can't have a co-MVP, but how did he not win the MVP? But then again, with Shai, I think it's the culture of how we play, if we want to really be honest. I think that, I love playing with players that make everyone better. And so I think the days of just scoring 40 and being that guy, like that's not necessarily winning basketball. To be doubled in the post and not get anyone else involved. That's why we love Jokic and maybe not other centers. And so I think the culture, at least from watching Doncic, at least from watching Shai, Shai Gilgeous, is that they're always going to try to make the right play, even if it's being selfish 4 or 5 times in a row. But watching them facilitate, get other guys involved is so special. That's why Halliburton is special, though. And I've always known that, even he was drafted in Sacramento, because he gets everyone involved. And I think that has become the culture of the European player. And as Americans, being the best scorer, it's a little more that you can add to that. And I think that that's where the line in the sand is going to come. Like, how much better do you make your team? And Shai's team would not be that good. OKC wouldn't have got out the first round without him. And Denver may not have made the playoffs without Jokic. And that's what I like. The distinction in the MVP argument is not that, oh, look at the stats. If we really take them away from their teams, without them even scoring, they make their teams better. And I think that shows what the most valuable player is. Not the most valuable scorer, but the most valuable teammate.